Hello viewers, today we will start magnetostatics. So the time has come to consider the force between charges in motion. As you all learned magnetostatic in your 12th grade, I will start from magnetic forces. We know when a charge q is moving in a magnetic field with a velocity v, the magnetic force acts on that charge is q v cross b. Okay, which you already studied in your 12th class. And the Lorentz force, if the electric field is also present with the magnetic force, then the charge experienced electric force also, which is QE. So, and the resultant force of electric field and magnetic field is given by the Lorentz force law. Lorentz force law, which is resultant force is equals to Q E plus V cross B. Okay. So as you know, when a particle is moving in a magnetic field with velocity perpendicular to magnetic field, then the value of the magnetic force is equals to QVB. As this value remains constant, which can only be happen in during the circular motion. Say velocity is in this direction and the magnetic field is inside this page into the page, so the charge is moving in a circular motion. As in uniform circular motion, it will experience a centripetal force. So QVB is equals to mv square over r, which gives us the momentum as p is equals to qbr. You can easily find out this relation from this by substituting the value of the momentum. This equation is also called a cyclotron formula. Cyclotron formula. It also suggests some techniques to find the momentum of a charged particle also. If we know a magnetic field in that region, then with the help of the radius which is covered by a circular motion of electron, then we can came to know that what is the momentum of that particle. Okay, now let's assume one more case in which a motion is somewhat different. Let's say a particle has a velocity in this direction, say x and y, which is at angle theta from x-axis. Then magnetic field is perpendicular to y-axis. On resolving these component, v parallel, say, which is parallel to magnetic field, and v perpendicular velocity, which is perpendicular to magnetic field. So the parallel component will remain unaffected by this magnetic field, as the cross of v cross b is 0, and only the factor which comes in the action is v perpendicular to the magnetic field. So this electron will form a helix motion like this. Okay. Now consider one more case. Say, let's talk about a more exotic trajectory. If we include electric field along z-axis, and the magnetic field along x-axis, and the positive charge is released from the origin, then we have to find out the path followed by that particle. So let's draw the diagram for this. say x, y and z. Our electric field is along z axis and magnetic field is along x axis, and particle is released from the origin. As in the initial state, when a particle is at the origin, it will not experience any kind of a magnetic field, as a velocity is zero at that point. It will only experience electric field. Then it will move in a direction along the x-axis, and when it will move, then that velocity will be perpendicular to the magnetic field, which move this in a somewhat a semicircular path. As it will move in a semicircular path, and as after the half semicircle it goes against the given electric field in the minus z axis, then that electric field come again in action and take back it along its axis, and it will again move in this motion, and so on like this. Okay, so what type of path is it is following? Let's find out the equation of this path. As we know that velocity here is only along the y axis and z axis, so y dot and z dot, as there is no motion, is along the x axis. Then by the Lorentz law, we know that we can calculate first v cross b, which is as velocity x, y and z cap. As velocity is zero along x axis, there is no motion along x axis due to electric field and magnetic field, only a motion along y axis and z axis, and the components are like this. So as we are doing cross with b, the magnetic field is along x axis, so b, and all the y and z is zero. On computing this, v cross b leads us to b z cap, z dot y cap, and minus b y dot z cap. Now come back to the Lorentz law, which states that F is equals to Q E plus V cross B. Substituting all the values, as we already calculated the value of V cross B, then it is equals to Q, as electric field is along Z axis, then it is E Z cap plus B Z dot Y cap minus B Y dot Z cap. Okay, as this is a force by Newton's second law is equals to ma, and acceleration is only along y and z axis, no motion along the z axis, so I am including here y double dot y cap plus z double dot z cap. On comparing both the y cap and z cap to the Lorentz law equation, y double dot my double dot is equals to qb z double dot, and the another one was qe minus qb y dot mz dot, that double dot. Say if we let that omega, which is let's say this frequency with which this particle is moving, say qb by m, which you can verify that why I am saying frequency to this quantity qb by m by the dimensional analysis. So y double dot is equals to omega z dot, and here also we can substitute same as like this, z double dot is equals to omega e by b minus y dot. As these are the the coupled differential equation, so the general solution, I think so that you already done in your differential equation class. So the coupled differential equation solution for this is c1 cos omega t plus c2 sin omega t plus e by b t plus c3 zt function of t, c2 cos omega t minus c1 sin omega t plus c4, where c1, c2, c3 and c4 are just constant which we want to determine here. Let's use some condition that velocity of a particle at time t is equals to 0, which is obvious, and also velocity along z-axis is also 0 at time t, and same for the distance along the z-axis and y-axis is 0 at time t. Now using these equation and differentiating them, we can find out the value of yt, and is equals to e by omega b sin omega t minus sin omega t, and the value of zt is equals to z for the function of t is equals to e by omega b 1 minus cos omega t. This is simple calculation, you can do it by yourself also. Here I am again considering that let's say r is equals to e by omega b. Okay, then by some manipulation and adding the square of this quantity and these quantities, and using the trigonometry law that sin square theta plus cos square theta is equals to 1, we can form an equation which is r minus y r omega t square plus z minus r square is equals to r square. Here r shows the radius of that circle, that semicircle which was formed in the diagram, and the semicircle whose radius from here we can interpret that along the x-axis as it is 0, and the y-axis r omega t, and z-axis is r, where its center is moving along the y direction with a constant speed. As from the known relation we know that v is equals to omega r, velocity of the constant speed with which a semicircle is forming, we can know from here that omega r is equals to eb from this relation. So velocity is e by b. So the particle is moving such like that it is a spot on the rim of a wheel rolling along the y-axis, and the curve generated here is a cycloid generated curve. Here is cycloid. Notice that here that all over motion is not along the direction of E as you might suppose, but is perpendicular to it also. Okay, thank you.